stateless. So just wake up, measure temperature, send it. Very easy, cost a few hundredths of a cent with new technologies. I don't know about taxes in Brazil, but they say that the production cost is basically 0.01 cent. And how can I put a BB6 on that? This kind of sensor. So there will be a need of gateway for some application. The second area of application is life-threatening ones. Talking about, again, the ABS system of your car, would you put a best effort protocol to control the brakes? IP is best effort. Best effort means that it's unreliable by definition. If you take a Stevens book, it will define IP as unreliable protocol. IP, I mean, we were talking before, I mean, Professor Amazonas, a very nice speech this morning with the hourglass. To me, IP was so successful because of the failure modes. It's very easy. A packet reaches destination, or a packet does not reach destination. That's it. You don't have to worry about it. I just give my packet to Gabriel, and then I forget about it. Whatever happened to that packet, it's not my business. Gabriel can pass to somebody else, and it's not Gabriel's business anymore. It's a very, very simple error mode, failure mode. And this, to me, is what built the internet as it is today. Now, would you build your brakes of the car with this system, so you don't know if the car is going to brake or not? And if you crash against a wall, then Bosch or whichever is manufacturing the brakes can say to the insurance company, well, by definition it was unreliable, so I mean, what do you want from us? So it will not work. There will be a need of a gateway at a certain point. Let's get a little bit more into the detail. I will not bother you too much. I mean, we can go as deep as we want, but I will just give you a little idea, I mean, of what we're talking about. This is normal internet. What we think is that at the device side, there will be, first of all, some optional layers because of the simplicity and the constraintness of some of the, 5 minutes, maybe I will manage. The constraint characteristic of some of the devices. Of course, there will be some physical layers. We have to talk to the device somehow. But all these other ones are kind of optional. Okay? There will be some kind of a device logic. There will probably be plug-and-play protocols, UPnP and so on and so forth, M2M. There will be some sort of identification needed because we need to be specific. I mean, if we cannot decide which device we're talking with, we don't know. If we receive there are 22 degrees in a room but we don't know which room it is, we cannot make any corrective action. So we have to have precise identification of the object. But apart from that, I mean, everything else is kind of can be or cannot be there. I go deeper in the design of the gateway that we went through, and basically we can have identity and key management, we can have bootstrapping authentication, PANA, whatever, implementation awareness, and talking to some protocols. Now, let's go deeper than that, eventually. And basically, there will be a translator. So what you're going to do with this gateway is basically translate them from unconstrained networks to constrained nodes. So we're going to talk COPE, probably yes. COPE is going to be transformed through some IoT-A magic stuff into HTTP, UPnP, whatever, or maybe we simply don't need it because the node is not so simple. So what it's doing is just passing COPE to the internet. And if we go to M2M engine, and we have a functional architecture of the M2M engine, you see there are quite a lot of message parser, that go to the upstream and downstream queue, disassemble and go down to the device drivers. So we are implementing all this stuff, by the way. We're implementing all this stuff and all the exciting stuff. Something that I'm personally very excited is about the security mechanism, that you can have a constrained node that can talk through an untrusted gateway to the cloud, and the link between the constrained node and the cloud is done securely. So basically, you manage to have a secure connection through an untrusted gateway, a key exchange through an untrusted gateway. we're working on that. Finally, yes, I will manage in the 5 minutes. So IoT is not a closed project. Of course, I mean, we got the financing from the EU for doing the work, but we didn't go on an island for 3 years, had beautiful ideas on slideware, and then come out, and maybe some code, and then come out and show to the world. From the very beginning, we understood that IoT is made by technology company, by technology providers. I mean, even if Siemens, I mean, sell trains and Hitachi sells whatever thing you want, and Alcatel, so on and so forth, the departments which are working there are departments which are only technological departments. So they have no business connection. The huge problem is to develop some concrete architecture. If you want to develop a concrete architecture with a very abstract reference model, we must have some reality check. We must have some guy that tells us, look, they're going totally in the wrong direction. This is totally useless here. So basically, what we did is, okay, we implement 2 use cases, but basically, we're doing no better than everybody else in the intranet. Okay, I do a reference model, I do a reference architecture, I do a single case for health services. It's working, yes, but what did I do? So what we did is basically to have a stakeholders group. The stakeholders group is end users. It can be retail, can be a bank, it can be health. We have veterinary people that do actually tracking for cattle. So it was very interesting to hear before, I mean, all the tracking cattle and so on. And they call it human slaughtering. How to basically demonstrated that if you manage to kill the cows or the cattle in a more human way, the meat tastes better, apparently. Anyway, I mean, this group is the stakeholders group. So basically, we are doing the work for them. We meet them regularly, every 6 months more or less, and we bring the results, and we expect validation from them. We expect them to tell us, it's good, this you can do better, this is totally useless, this is whatever. They're very open and very frank, so it's not like a beauty contest where we all say to each other how great we are. But a really constructive workshop in which we really try, I mean, to go through all the boxes and architecture that we saw before in the technology part and in the socio-economical and business validation. Say, okay, is this useful or not? I mean, is the thought of making a gateway make sense or not? Can I imagine a sensor which is speaking HTTP and SOAP? Yes, so why do I need a gateway? But there are, of course, other considerations. Cost, for instance. I can make a sensor which is very cheap. Or else embedding sensors in a specific non-standard material like fabric. Then, I mean, I have a problem, I mean, in bringing enough power, I mean, to put enough computational power to address HTTP issues, so on and so forth. So the next meeting of this stakeholders group will be in Bled. It would be, I believe, 26th of November. I can't remember the date by heart, but it will be on the website soon. And the stakeholder group is really open. So you really have to go on the webpage, IoT.eu stakeholders, just leave your name, you will be contacted for sure. Rob van Kranenborg is the organizer of the stakeholders group. You will be contacted and you can participate to that. Again, similar to IoT-A and the Fórum, I mean, you don't have to pay any money. What we ask though is a bit of commitment. So if you send an email and then you say, okay, I would like to participate, and then we don't hear from you for 2 years, then we assume you're not interested anymore. This didn't happen. Normally we have quite a good relationship with the stakeholders, I mean. And what of course we're trying to expand now, because at the beginning it's very hard to sell something there. And we can sell a beautiful slideware ideas, but we didn't have anything. Now we start to have something. We start to have concepts, we start to have pretty software even and things. So now it's really a good time in a sense to join the stakeholders group to see exactly what's happening and to say, look, I mean, this one for us is totally useless because it actually goes against what we're doing. So your omnicomprehensive, your ecumenic architecture does not work for us. And that would be very interesting for us to hear. So thank you very much. I hope I didn't bore you too much.